Greetings. Welcome back to a cup of conversation and food for thought with me, Nidra Simmons. I thank you all for joining my live. Good morning. It is Thursday. We made over that hump. Sorry I had a late start. I usually come on at 5, but this morning I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep all last night, so I had to take something to go to sleep, and it got me a little bit over my schedule. But nevertheless, I'm here. So I thank you all for joining. As always, I come on giving honor and glory to Mother, Father, God, Universe. Thank you for waking us up this morning. Thank you for keeping us. Thank you for being so awesome and so wonderful. Thank you for protecting us and keeping us protected and covered under blood and washed by the blood. Continue to provide for us and keep us wearing the full armor of God, the helmet of salvation, breastplate of righteousness, the shield of faith, the sword of God's holy word, the belt of truth, the shoes of peace. Thank you for protecting us and providing for us mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, financially, in every way possible. Thank you for safe traveling road mercies or safe road travel mercies as we make it to and from our destinations this morning and throughout the day. Just thank you for just being so awesome and so wonderful. God, I love you so much, and I thank you. Give much respect and gratitude to our big brother Jesus, archangels, guardian angels, all angels in the highest Christ light, ancestors, guardian ancestors, spirit team here and for. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to start off by saying I do not own the rights to the music. That is just music playing in the background, nor do I own the rights to the commercials that will be playing through the station that the music is coming on. I guess it'll come on in any minute now. It has a mind of its own. Um, but I thank you all for joining me today. The topic that I'm going to talk about today is stages of a relationship. I'm not going to label how many stages to put down because there can be many stages. Some are 2, some are 3, some are 4, some are 5, some are 6, or some are more. So I'm just going to talk about some topics that will come that's going to flow under stages in a relationship. Please feel free to join in if you like. I always say God loves me and more you. Allow me to speak to your people. Allow me to reach those that need to hear this. Um, Allow me to be respectful as well as all of those out there that join in to be respectful as well. Thank you for just being so awesome and so wonderful, God. You are truly, truly awesome, God, and worthy of all praises. I don't know if this is too loud or not, so let's turn it down just a little bit because I can hear the commercials and I don't want to get flagged because the commercials are on. But good morning, y'all. We made it over Wednesday, hump day. Yay, yay. It was a struggle for me as far as wanting to be where I was and leaving there and coming back home. But anyway, it's a new day. So I hope that you're doing well. We talked about karmic relationships yesterday. We talked about obsessive relationships prior to that. We've talked about struggles in a relationship. Um, I still want to stay on the topic of relationships, but I want you guys to help contribute to sharing, what are some things that you have overcome? What are some helpful ways that you have overcame? And if there's any seasoned relationship people out there or couples or people that's married and been married for years, please feel free to share what works for you because there's people that want to continue their relationship and don't know how to keep moving forward. I always say seek God for direction and guidance. Keep God in the center of your marriage because you're going to need God for for the things that go through in a marriage. Marriage is hard work. It's not something that's quick and easy. It's not something that it's not an activity that you just do for fun. No, it's a real life changer. It is an opportunity for you to grow, and it's an opportunity for you and the other person to grow together. And if you have children, you're teaching your children how to get involved and how to or see what a healthy relationship look like. You guys are their first examples. Good morning to you all. Thank you for joining the live. So some of the stages that I had looked up and got, and I had to look up and to get it because, like I said, everybody's relationship and stages is not the same as mine. So the first not struggle, the first phase is the honeymoon phase. I always say hello, thank you for joining my live. Thank you, thank you. Good to see you this morning. I always say that the honeymoon phase is temporary, and everything is good in the beginning. And it is a phase that everybody will have to overcome at some point. I have not met anybody who had just been in marriage and or relationship and it's been the honeymoon phase from start to finish. That is the phase where you're getting to know each other. and you have so much patience for one another in the honeymoon phase. Everything is new. The person to you is new. Your feelings are new. You just everything is open. You open, they open. Y'all just want each other. Mm, excuse me. In the honeymoon phase. Morning discussion on the status of relationships. Share your insights. I see how AI can just take something and put it real quick, and it takes me a few uh, tries around the block just to get my point across sometimes. But AI can just take it and sum it up just in a few words. Um, but yeah, any one out there want to share, what a honeymoon phase look like for them? I know for me, it's I can be myself, and sometimes the simple thoughts are cool. They don't really think too much of it. I hope you're doing coping. Doing. I am. I hope you are too. Thank you. Um. All right, but whew, I feel like I have to sneeze. Okay. No, it ain't coming. Sorry. I feel like I have to sneeze. It didn't come. But but yeah. So the honeymoon phase is the beginning phase of the relationship. It can last uh, a couple of weeks. It can last a couple of months. But after a while, that phase has to phase out. Reality has to sit in. Life be life in it, and if you're going through different types of things, or you're real busy, it's going to play a toll on one another. So it's best to be honest up front in the beginning. Thank you for liking my live. I appreciate you all joining the live. It means so much. The next phase is the reality check phase. That's when things, all of that honeymoon, the film for the or the cloud for the honeymoon fades away, and you get to see each other for who we really are. And it's either continue on, or maybe not. The choice is up to you. It's all about how serious you are in the relationship. Um, that reality check makes you start to look at yourself and see, well, is this really what I want? Do I really have the patience to continue on going? Do I want to string this person along? Or do I want to be upfront and honest and say, listen, this is not going to work? And the reality check is basically you checking in with yourself. How is it possible that you haven't been fine for being? Thank you for the compliment. I don't know, but yeah, it's the phase to where you decide whether or not you want to continue on. This, for me, if you're in this reality check phase, this is when you decide whether or not if this is going to be a relationship that you want to make work or a situationship. Are you going to move forward and be the best you that you can, or are you going to go back to your comfortable ways and just lay back and be who you want to be? Are you going to take the effort to make this something? This is, I think, at the reality check stage is when you're checking in to see if this is going to be a long-term relationship or a short-term relationship. I know that I asked before, how long does it take for someone to know if the person that they're with is going to be the person that they want to be with for a lifetime? And someone had told me 30 days. I had said 6 months. But sometimes people go years and don't want to put a title on their relationship because they feel like if they put a title on a relationship, it might jinx it, or it might cause it to end faster than what it is. And I say to those people, a relationship is what you make it. It's a question of whether or not you're checking in with self and see if you have the strength and the energy to continue to go forward in this relationship. Are you willing to give, more of yourself and making this relationship work? Are you wanting to, it's basically you at your checkpoint. How are you feeling at this point in this relationship? Are you feeling like you're losing yourself? Do you feel like this person got a hold on you that might make you lose who you are because you don't want to go down a zone that is familiar that you think is going to be hurtful? You want to just make sure that, hello, how you doing? Thank you for joining live. Hello, thank you for joining the live. Much appreciated for you coming on. But yeah, at that reality check, which is right after the honeymoon phase, this is the decision. Is this going to be something I'm going to go forward in? The next phase that they have in this that I have written down, and I got this from off of Gemini, y'all, and I listened to some of the pre videos that they had on TikTok, and I'm sharing my personal opinions in this as well as I read it to you all out there. Um, and for those that was looking for me to come on at 5 o'clock, I apologize. I could not sleep last night. I was just in and out of sleep, and this the internet TikTok is addictive because I kept going to sleep, waking up, looking on TikTok, going to sleep, waking up, looking on TikTok, and it was very addictive. I don't know if that had a part in me not going to sleep. I know I fell asleep on some of the videos as I was playing it, but yeah, it was a rough night last night. I don't know if it was for anybody else. Hello, how you doing? Thank you for joining the live. Another stage or phase is the stability acceptance phase or stage. This is when you're coming to grips with, and you've been with each other for a little while now, and you decided, okay, I think I can work through this. I think that I want. I mean, I don't think I know. Scratch out the word think. This is at the phase to where, actually, yeah, at the phase to where you're saying, okay, I've seen how this person is. I know how this person is when they get upset. I know how this person is when they're happy. I've studied my individual. I've studied how they move. I've studied, what works for them, and I love them, or the case might be, and I want to see this work. So at that stability acceptance phase is when you are comfortable and you're stable in this relationship. I've seen all that I need to see to make the decisions on whether or not I want to leave or stay. And if I'm staying, I'm in. I'm in to win it. Like they say, the lottery, you got to be in it to win it. Um, you're taking on this relationship as a relationship, and you're moving forward. um, this is the phase that you decide to do that, or this is the phase that where you get very comfortable with that individual, and if you stay long and you start producing a family and you start having kids, you get real comfortable with that person, and you usually can fall back to or fall into, excuse me, y'all, a phase to where you don't want to do anything. This is probably the phase where in some relationships you get comfortable. If you start off real hot and heavy in your relationship and giving each other that intimacy, this is probably at the phase where that intimacy between the power struggle and this phase, the power struggle, you're probably going to have a lot of intimacy because you're going to make up. Um, thank you. Thank you very much. Because you I mean, between the power struggle and the stability acceptance phase is when you are set in your ways. So if you were someone that was doing a lot for your mate, and life has been life, and then you have children, this is when you're either going to continue to have more children because you found ways to kind of cope with your ups and your downs, and intimacy could be a way that you do it where it's going to bring in more. I'm always searching for love. um, but um, but yeah, so that acceptance phase is where you get comfortable, and this is where one party might say, you know what, you're not giving me enough of what I need, and they might want to look somewhere else, or they might be getting the attention that they need elsewhere and not giving you what you want. Well, thank you. So that's the stability acceptance phase, and then once you get past that stability acceptance phase, and a lot of people don't go past that phase, they either stay there and decide to separate. Thank you very much. I consider myself to be a very nice woman. So I advise all of us to check in with self and with each other when we reach each one of these phases. Nice to meet you, Aaron. Thank you for joining my live. The last phase that I've written down, which is not necessarily the last phase in other people's relationships. You have people that's been married for 50, 60 years, and I tip my hat off to all of those who have been in a relationship that long. It was always my goal to be in a relationship, if I'm married long term to the end. I'm a widow, So my term on how my long life uh, vision of marriage has changed, because I had to go through a lot of things that I was trying to prevent. I ended up slam snack right into. So no, I'm not married. So that blissful state, that last phase that I wrote down is the blissful commitment stage. That's the stage where you invested, you in that relationship, and ain't nobody going nowhere. Even if y'all get upset, you get mad, and you don't want to talk to each other, y'all can agree to disagree, be in the house for a week and have no conversations, but still do what you need to do for each other because you love each other. So not to say that there's not going to be problems or hard times. There will be. It'll just be like, okay, y'all agree to disagree, y'all argue, and then, you know, who's making dinner? Who's making breakfast? Life still goes on. You keep going. Thank you for the likes. So I'm interested to know, do you guys agree with any of these stages? Or do you have any additional other stages that might contribute or you want to take away and replace into from my list to yours? I looking at this list can agree to these things happening in a relationship. I can attest to some of these stages within the relationships that I've had. And these stages are not just for married couples. It can be for individuals that's just starting out, wanting to be in a relationship, and those that are in the middle phase. Any phase of your relationship, these stages can apply. It's just a matter of you taking the time. Thank you. It's just stages and phases in which you have to check in with self and with your mate. And when I say check in with yourself and with mate, I'm saying meditating with God and seeking God for additional healing and asking God for areas in your life that you feel you're falling short, to give you strength and to make to give you strength and to be able to contribute and move forward in making that relationship work, and also having that conversation between you and your mate, because as life goes on and people are dealing with life situations, things that you used to do may not that they thought was cute in the beginning ain't so cute anymore, because they don't have the time nor the energy to give it the attention they used to, because so many things are weighing on their shoulders and so many things that's going on in life that they can sometimes not see you the way they saw you. So you want to make sure that you still check in with each other, still talking with each other, and see, how you feeling, what's going on. Um, do you still love me? That's not a wrong question to ask. A lot of people might think that's an insecurity type of question to ask when you're in a relationship, but no, it's a legitimate question, because when life be life and you're going through a relationship and you're not getting the attention that you need, and you're concerned, and you have your intuition and your discernment that may ask you to say those things, because your partner might be straddling the fence, and they might need some encouragement or something to grab back onto, so that they can get the will to keep going. Good morning. Thank you for joining the live. We're human and we have feelings and emotions that come just like the wind as the wind blows. So you want to make sure that you are consistent in keeping what you got going on alive and well. You're invested in each other. When you get to that blissful commitment stage, y'all invested in each other. Y'all are considered money at that standpoint. You spent your money, your time, your energy, your love, all of that stuff within your mate at that blissful commitment stage. So that's a full-blown investment. That's like your house. That's like your car. You want to make sure that you get all that you can out of it, so that when you grow together, and I'm not trying to compare people to that, but we're human. Keep that in mind. I'm just giving you an analogy to help you understand where I'm coming from. But you're invested in one another, and I think it's beautiful when you see those couples. If you love me, show me when it's in action. There's nothing to ask. Okay, I agree. And with time being with somebody, you'll be able to feel each other. Thank you for your confidence in joining the live, and thank you for your contribution. But yeah, at that blissful commitment stage, that's when that's when the showing is effective, and you can aware, because y'all know each other. Y'all been with each other long enough to know your ups and your downs, your your ins and your outs, or when to stay away or when to come on and give you that affection and attention that you need. So yeah, at some point in a relationship or marriage, it's got to be that show me phase. That talk, because talk is cheap. You can say anything to anybody. Um, we had someone that came on and shared their story about a week or so ago about how they had a relationship online, and they was doing that relationship for about 3 years. Um, and that relationship, you had no idea if it was really a relationship because you weren't together. They'd never met. They just talked over the phone and got real serious. And I never questioned. Okay, you're welcome to join live if you want to make this more interesting. Much appreciated. I would like to go. I can't go and be a guest on yours because you got a lot of stuff going on that you got a lot of knowledge and wisdom about what you got going on, and I commend you on that. And keep doing what you're doing because you're great at what you do. Good morning. Thank you for joining the live. But yeah, so at some point, you're going to have to show. You got to be about it. And you're welcome. You got to be about it. A lot of you know couples in relationships tend to think the other person don't care because they kind of just stop showing. You know, and I was saying before, what did I say? I was talking about a guy who was in a relationship for 3 years, and they never met, and then it ended up falling apart, and you didn't know what was going on each other's end. Y'all got together and talked, and when y'all talk, it was just talk, and talk can be cheap without the action to follow behind it. So when you're in relationships, I like that face to face, in person relationship. I don't really care for the long distance and just telephone talk. I've been in long distance relationships. At one point, I was all for it. I was like, yeah, this is it. Long distance relationships is good because you have your time. You don't have to be around the person all the time, and especially if you was in a relationship for a very long time and y'all live together, and then you get into a long distance relationship, and it's like, oh yeah, this works for me. It works for a little bit. It works in that honeymoon stage. It works in that reality check stage. But when you get to that power struggle stage, it doesn't for me, and this is just my opinion, it doesn't work that well because you can argue and just hang up the phone, and that's it. There's nothing really being resolved. You're not getting to know each other physically. You're not knowing how to make the argument no longer an argument by coming and doing actions and showing that intimacy with one another. And sometimes if you're arguing, that intimacy part, that making up part is awesome. You don't want to miss out on that one because you'll get a lot of emotions and feelings that you didn't have because you're going through things, and that coming together and reminding each other just how much you mean to each other because y'all really intimate with each other, and y'all breathing each other, y'all smelling each other, y'all seeing each other, y'all feeling each other. All that can add to making up and remind you why you are with that person in the first place. You can't do that when you're on the phone long distance. You can send stuff to the person, and that's nice. But, relationships need that hands on type of connection. You need to be around each other so that your discernment and your intuition can help you in learning and knowing your partner. And this is just my opinion. You don't have to agree, but you can contribute and add to it if you think that I'm wrong or right. But that's just how I see it. Um, it takes work. It takes physical hard labor in a relationship, as well as the verbiage and communication and so forth. Don't get me wrong. I still believe communication and conversation is very important in relationships. You're not going to know how the other person's feeling unless they tell you. So you need to continue to have that conversation with one another so that you could continue to make things move forward. Because we're not mind readers. You can be with someone long enough to know that you can think that you read their minds, but you really can't. You're only going to know what they tell you and what their actions show you, but you can't go on actions all the time because sometimes we are routine. We'll do things in routine because we know that this is what we're going to do. You go to work every day. That's a routine. If you live with your mate, you might give your mate a kiss every morning before you leave. That's a routine. You come home, you go to bed, you might say goodnight. That's a routine. I used to say to myself when I heard a lot of people say, don't go to bed angry. How many people really actually do that? Go to bed and not be angry. I've been to bed, gone to bed angry on many a nights. And I'm pretty sure my husband did when he was here too. Um, so I can understand in making that a goal to try to make sure that you don't go to bed angry and you continue to just move forward. But there's a lot of times, a lot of nights, I went to bed angry, mad, slapping a cover down the middle right behind me so nothing could come past, upset. And then had to wake up and still live life and go and do what I had to do and still see my husband's face, and he still had to see mine. We we haven't made it. We didn't make it to our blissful commitment part of stage of the relationship. We've made it to the stable acceptance phase. The phase where we had to understand that we have two different learning, teaching, and understanding qualities. We're not the same. I can tolerate a lot more than he can tolerate, and vice versa on situations and, raising our children and so forth. So, he was comfortable with me and I was comfortable with him. It was to the point where I was like, you know what? It was almost like being in a roommate stage where, you just live with the person and you provide and take care of everybody that's in the house. That's how I feel. You should always do that if you live with somebody. And then, you have your conversations every now and then. But this is the point to where if you haven't already established, traveling, and this is why I commend those who are in relationships. Okay, well, that's good. As long as y'all communicating in the morning or the next day, you're not just letting it slide. But yeah, it makes sense once you can get to sleep and you get a clear mind and you wake up refreshed. Then you have another or a different attitude on how you can face it because you've relaxed and you're calmer. I was gonna say something else, but I forgot. But yeah. And that was someone responding to the going to bed angry. But yeah, communication is important. You don't want to let the other person be a mind reader because we're different. We're different. I can follow a routine that will make you feel like you're loved, but unless you asking me what's going on or I tell you, you're not going to know exactly what's going on in my head. And you got people that sit there and think. And if they have someone that has offered them something on the outside, you want to make sure that you are speaking to one another so you can understand what they're saying. And when you have two people talking together, your intuition and your discernment and your heart plays a part in receiving what the other person is saying. And you'll know if this is a serious situation and tomorrow you can say, I'm sorry, I love you. Yeah, you can if you make it through tomorrow. If you make it through tomorrow, yes, you can. When my husband passed, the last thing he said to me, and when I heard it, I knew he loved me, but I wasn't expecting it. But it was the last time, and it was in the morning, so we didn't make it through the morning. We argued a little bit the night before, but we made it through the morning, and he came to me and said, I love you. It was the last words that he could say for the last 2 weeks of his life until he was gone. And so we did get to make it through the morning. But after that, that was it. And, but still life goes on. We live and we learn, and we don't shut down because we're still here. And the other person, their job is done here, and they're on to better things with their spirit going into heaven, doing their next phase of life or preparing for their next phase of life, because I believe in reincarnation. So maybe he'll be back in this physical world or maybe not, but I've had my opportunity with him and he had his opportunity with me. So I'm saying that to always, just to say to you all up there that there's things that may happen in our lives, but we don't stop and get stuck there. Life still goes on. Hello, how you doing? Thank you for joining live. Hold on. I feel. I. I feel. Make sure that once he leaves Earth, he's to let you know what he did love. Yeah, well, I knew he loved me. It's just I love. People can have different phases of love. Um, I believe he loved me. Because he stayed with me. He lived in a house with me. We raised children. Um, but it is what it is, and life goes on. I was grateful to hear that out of his mouth than anything else negative. So that was just confirmation and assurance that I had to hold on to, so that I can keep going on and do what I had to do afterwards. Ooh, excuse me, y'all. Mm. How you doing? Thank you for joining the live. For those who are just coming in, we're talking about stages of a relationship. I named 5 stages. There can be more, there can be less. Feel free to join in if you agree with any of these stages. I'm going to read it again without all of the breakdown. It was the honeymoon phase, the reality check phase, the power struggle phase, the stability acceptance phase, and the blissful commitment phase. That's the what do they say, silver, gold years of a relationship or marriage, where you guys are very comfortable with one another and y'all just know that you love each other. And sometimes in that blissful phase, you don't have to say it. You'll know it because the actions of each other you've already picked up on. And when they do this, they must really love you if they're doing this. Or they, you get to know their quirks and their cues of when it's time to do whatever it is, or to, you'll know what to do. And I always reflect back to, because I can reflect back as a parent, and you have babies and you're learning your babies just like your babies are learning you. They have different types of cries that let you know that they're hungry, that they're tired, that they want your attention, that they just want to annoy you because you're around and they know that you're going to be there. You learn your babies. You learn to understand that language that they're saying, even when they're not fully getting out the words. Same thing in a relationship. When you start to grow with one another, you're learning a language that only you know that they speak. You're learning you're learning to understand what their looks look like. You learn to understand when you need to leave them alone and let them have about 15 minutes to themselves, or even longer. You're learning your mate just like you had to learn your children. It's like a cycle that we go through in a lot of things that we do, even at the workplace. You go to a new job, you have to learn the job. You have to learn people. If you work with the public, you have to learn how to adjust and to be able to speak to each and every one of the people there. You can't just, you have some jobs require you to say a script every single time, but you'll know based off of your customers or whoever how to talk to them and how far to go. With some people, you cut it quick and short. Hello, how you doing? Thank you. Have one wonderful day. Others, you can go in and say, how so and so doing? That's good. You get to learn your customers. You get to learn your mate. Hello, how you doing? Thank you for joining the live. You get to know each other. But I want to go back and spend some more time on the honeymoon phase, because sometimes that can be short-lived and sometimes it can last a little bit longer. But the choice is up to you and that individual. So I know in the honeymoon phase that everything is funny. Your jokes are funny. Your attention with one another is needed. You get all these feelings and these emotions. You're like, what is going on? Everything is good. Peachy King, Gucci, whatever they say, however they say it. But I always realize, thank you for I was honored, glory to God, for waking us up this morning. And I thank God too for putting people in our lives for time, reasons, and seasons, because we need people. If you think you're gonna make it through this world by yourself, you're not, because you're never alone. You have God and you have your spirit team. We all have a spirit team assigned to us. We all have God and access to God because God lives within us. And we have that personal relationship with God. That's how we can all speak to God and know who God is and who God is in our lives, because we all have God in us. Some of us refuse to acknowledge God in us. That's a choice. I don't recommend you do that because you're going to need God in your life. But we've been on for 35 minutes, and like I said, I had a late start today, so I may have to get off a little bit earlier than an hour. But nevertheless, I thank you all who have came on this morning to join the live. I'm not leaving yet. I still got some more time. I'm just waiting for my cue from my daughter. But yeah, if you are wondering what the umbrella of discussion is this morning and you just came on, we're still talking about relationships, but we're talking about the stages of the relationship. Do you know what stage you are in your relationship? And if you care to share, how are you coping and making this relationship work? Do you feel like you've done something to make this relationship last so that it can go to the next level? Um, what I do like to remind everybody that in whatever stage you are in your relationship, never give up on you. Never forget about you. And you must take care of you first before you can take care of anybody else. Check yourself. Have you eaten today? Are your levels okay? Have you have enough rest? You know, because all that plays a part in how you feel and be around somebody. You might not want to be around nobody because you haven't properly prepared yourself to be around anybody. So don't forget about how important it is to make sure that you are okay before you contribute and try to give into your relationship. Because if you make the mistake of losing or forgetting about you, you're not giving your partner the best you in the relationship. You're giving them things that is just routine. I always say that you do not give from a half full cup. You can't even give from a full cup. That full cup is for you and your family. Don't be giving out from your full cup and then asking God, woe is me. I need this. I don't have this. And it's not just money when I say you can't give from a full cup. It's your love, it's your attention, it's everything that you offer. You can't give if you don't have a full cup for yourself. And when I say full cup, I'm including families too. It all depends on how you look at it or what you got going on. Because sometimes it's just you and you don't have a relationship, but you are, looking for one or you are around people. So you still need to take care of you first. And when your cup overflows, and it will overflow if you meditate and spend that one-on-one time with you and with God and learn more about you and set some healthy boundaries, which a lot of people don't like. They don't like the word boundaries, but you need to set some boundaries, healthy boundaries for yourself and for others. And once your love and everything starts to grow and your cup starts to overflow, then you can start giving to others. And it's not selfish if you can't give from a full cup. You got to give to yourself first. You're no good if you don't take care of you. Now, you got people out there that will just take as long as you give it and won't take the time to refresh, and give back and replenish you. That's why it's important for you to do it for yourself so that you're not looking for everybody else to do it. Because you got a lot of people that's going to take everything you have to offer, run with it. And if it raises them up and bring you down, they will keep going up. And if they have to step on you, they will. So you need to take care of yourself first. That is a must. You're not selfish for taking care of you first. You can't give the best of you. Okay? But you have to give to yourself first. And then when your cup overflows, you give to others. You are that example. You're that example for those that don't know how to take care of themselves. They see how well you take care of you. Then it'll show. It'll reflect. It'll come off of you, and they can feel it. They can see it, and they're going to want to do it. But you got to take care of you first. You have to take care of you first. And I know I'm saying that multiple times because I'm speaking to you as well as I am speaking to myself. I know in these phases, I'm trying to figure out what phase you can lose yourself out of the stages that I've listed. Because okay, well, I'll look it up. Thank you. But yeah, sorry. Had a moment there of clearness. But yeah, what was I going to say? Let me know when you're ready, huh? But you ready? Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to cut this short, y'all. I have some things to do before I go. So I want to thank you all for joining this live. Please come and check me out again tomorrow. I'm going to try to get here by 5 o'clock in the morning. That is my goal. 5 o'clock Eastern time. I will be on with a cup of conversation and food for thought. But if I run a little late, don't hold it against my heart. I'm human. I still have to work, even though I might wake up late. So thank you all. Thank you. Love you too. So have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Thursday. Remember to, good morning from Jamaica. Remember to love yourself. Give honor and glory to God. Repent, ask for forgiveness. Forgive others. It's not for them, it's for you. Remember, God loves you. I love you. Now you love you. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Stay calm, cool, and collective. Don't let nobody take you out of your character. Be proactive so that you know how to act when things happen. So until next time, peace. Thank you all. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.